Hello, hello. Pods are connected. Hopefully this is working. Okay. Ooh, I have way too many tabs open. Okay, hello everybody. I'm just going to take a second to get all set up here on my computer. Make sure that I can see comments and give you all a chance to log on. So please do say hello as you're jumping on. I love conversing with you in the comments. Well, I talk out loud, you guys comment. But I love the chit chat that we get going on these Facebook Lives. Hello, Deborah. Thank you for joining. Hi, Sandra. Okay, so don't be shy, friends. Please do say hello. I love to hear from you guys. Hello, Natalie. For those that don't know me or who are watching for the first time, my name is Zara Premji, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario, Canada. And I have been a demonstrator and creative coach for over 8 years. And the way that I actually got introduced to stamping or card making, you talk out loud to me, that's awesome. I love it. Hello, Donna. And the way that I got started with card making was I was actually invited to a stamping workshop. And at the time, I didn't know what stamping was. So I wasn't actually ever creative or crafty or doing card making since I was little. Um, and I was invited to this workshop. And then I was like, well, I'll go and just, socialize and hang out with friends, not expecting to actually like what I was about to do. And then the demonstrator showed us how to make these four beautiful holiday cards, and I was completely smitten right away. And then I decided that I just needed to have all the things. And then I also really quickly learned that I love sharing stamping with others. So I jump on here every Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I do a Facebook Live crafting tutorial. I also save these to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, please do comment below, like and subscribe the video. I love all my audience, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Hello, Carol. Hello, Nicole. Hi, Sandra. Sandra is watching from the back deck of their new boat and new home. Oh my goodness, Sandra, that's so exciting. Hello, Corrine from Saskatchewan. Hello, Morag. Oh my goodness. Hi, Anne. Hi, everybody. Okay. Hold on. I might have missed a few comments. Hello, Denise from Winnipeg. Hello, Shelley. Okay. Let me tell you what we have going on tonight. So I'm going to share a few announcements with you. There is lots and lots of exciting stuff happening. And July is a really exciting month for us. And normally, like July is when things kind of settle and people are, in relaxing mode and it's summertime and all the things, but not in the Stampin' Up! World. No, no. There are many, many exciting things happening here right now. So I definitely want to share those with you. And then we're going to get started with some crafting. So I'm going to be featuring the Plentiful Plants bundle. And this is one of my favorite suites in the annual catalog. It's called Bloom Where You're Planted. I'm sorry, I'm getting all these messages pop up on my phone and I'm a little bit distracted. So I'm going to hope that they just stop messaging me. Someone's messaging about my son who's out for an outdoor play date. Okay, I got to just refocus. Hello, everybody. Hi, Janice. Hello, Tanya. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we are going to be playing with the Bloom Where You Are Planted suite. And in the annual catalog, it is on page 80 and 81. Okay, so if you have the annual catalog, it's on those two pages. It's gorgeous. I do not have a green thumb. I do not keep plants alive here. My garden is a disaster, but I love this bundle and I love creating plant themed cards with it. So I am calling myself a crazy plant lady, but I'm really into the paper style of plants. So we're going to be playing with that. I'll be showing you a project with that. Now, I want to talk to you about this particular suite because I am actually partnering with my friend Jamie in New York, and we are putting together a stamp camp in a box. Okay, so I've done live stamp camps, I've even done virtual stamp camps, but I've never done a stamp camp in a box. So this is actually going to be featuring the Bloom Where You're Planted suite. And the way that it's designed is for you to be able to do it at your own pace, at your own leisure. You can do all the projects at once, or you can do a little bit at a time. You can do it on vacation, you can do it at home, you can do it alone, or you can do it with your family or your friends, that sort of thing. It's really kind of designed to be really flexible, and to also set you up to have a really successful crafting experience. So, one of the things that I hear often from people is that they don't find that they have the time and that they struggle a little bit with designing. So people get a little bit paralyzed when it comes to actually designing cards. So this is going to help solve that problem because we've actually designed all of the projects for you. So there are 8 projects included, so 6 cards and 2 non-cards, so maybe like treat packaging or other or like 3D type projects. So you'll be making 8 projects. You will get $50 of product included. Okay, so in your Stamp Camp in a Box package, you're going to get $50 in Stampin' Up! Product that you will use on your projects, but you'll also have lots left over for future projects. You will get all the tutorials, so all of the step-by-step instructions, measurements, supply lists, all the things will be provided to you to really just help you be super successful with it. You'll also be getting pillow gifts. So you'll be getting 2 gifts and an exclusive bag included in your Stamp Camp in a Box. Okay, so it's just going to be chock full of lots of things. The cost is $100 and that includes shipping to anywhere in Canada. If you are local to me and you want to do a porch pickup, you're actually going to get an extra product in your box in lieu of the shipping charge. Okay, so I'll flip it down and then I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but it's definitely something that you'll want to try out. And it is the registration for this is closing on July 9th. So that's this Friday. If you want more details, go to zarapremji.com. The link is in the description. Make sure you get the H in my first name, and on there you'll see Stamp Camp in a Box Canada. And so you can click that to register for the Canadian version. Now, if you are watching from the US and you would like to partake in this amazing Stamp Camp in a Box, you can sign up with my friend Jamie. So you can do the same thing, go to my link, zarapremji.com, and look for the Stamp Camp in a Box US. Okay, and then you can join with Jamie and you'll still be doing all the same projects. We've collaborated to design everything together. We've been having a great time working together. And if you haven't checked out Jamie's designs before, she's watching right now, you can definitely go and check out her Facebook page. She has amazing design style. I just love everything that she creates, and we just have a very kind of cool vibe happening here. So we'd love for you to join us. There's only 2 days left to register, so make sure you get your registration in by July 9th. The next thing that I want to tell you about is we have a designer series paper sale. So 9 of our designer series papers are on sale for 15% off for this month only. So this will end on August 2nd. And so you get 15% off 9 of our different designer series papers. And if you purchase 2 packs of designer series paper or spend $30 or more in my online store this month, you are going to get a resource that has 9 tips for using up your DSP. So if you're anything like me, you might have a pack or 2 or 10 designer series papers that you have not opened or that you are too nervous about chopping into. So this resource will take care of that. Like I said, there are going to be 9 tips in there on how to use your DSP. There will be 9 card tutorials to actually show you how to use those tips. And then you can absolutely use those tips and ideas and tutorials with any of your designer series paper packs. So this will just set you up for success with actually cutting up that DSP and using it instead of hoarding it so that you have room for more, okay? Because we all need room for more. Um, so yeah, this is definitely a great resource. You'll definitely want to have that. I've already shared it with my team and a few of my customers that have ordered already. So, and the feedback has been really good. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. And the last thing that I want to mention is that our holiday catalog, actually it's the second last, our holiday catalog is going to launch in the month of August. So this is it's July to December mini catalog, but it's actually launching in August. And so I actually have boxes that are filled with new catalogs that I'm ready to send out. So if you've placed an order with me in the last year, I'm going to be sending a catalog to you automatically. If you have not placed an order with me and you do not already have a demonstrator and would like a catalog, then please let me know. You can comment below, or you can send me a private message, or you can email me and I will mail out a catalog to you. There's going to be some extra, also another another catalog that's going with it, but I'll talk more about that down the road. So I think I'm gonna flip the camera down and you can see my messy desk right now, and then we'll talk a little bit more and then we'll get started with crafting. Let me just make sure I haven't missed any comments. Janice is definitely guilty of hoarding the DSP. Janice, you are not alone. We are your people. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining. Hi, Jamie. Okay, friends, I'm going to flip the camera down and we're going to get started with some crafting. And we're going to have lots of fun. So hold the phone. I always say hold the phone, but you know, not literally. Okay, that's not too shabby today. For those of you that have been watching for a while, you know, you just never know what you're going to get when I actually flip the camera down. So let's see if this works. Okay, and it's crooked. Hold on. Okay. Hello, Debbie. Thank you for coming and joining us and watching. Okay, so I think we're good to go. Like I said, there's this whole big mess on my desk. So let's talk about the bloom where you're planted. I'll show you really quickly the card I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. It's this little card here, and I absolutely love it. And I will also show you the other card that was the jumping off point for this. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this cute little card, including this fun little rectangular frame. It's going to be lots and lots of fun, and I'll give you some tips on how to create that. So the Bloom Where You're Planted suite includes 4 different products. It includes the Plentiful Plants stamp set. It also includes a coordinating set of dies, okay? So you can purchase this bundle together and save 10%, which is amazing savings. So you can actually purchase both together for $65.50. Regularly, if you bought them separately, it would be $73, okay? So there's a good amount of savings there. And then it also includes the Designer Series paper. So this is one of our papers that are on sale this month. It's called Bloom Where You're Planted. And I'm just going to show you really quickly the patterns in this paper. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite papers. I love the plant theme, even though, like I said, I don't have a green thumb, but I just love the patterns on here. I love the greenery. I just love all of it. So on one side, you can see that it's very plant themed. When you flip it over onto the other side, there's all these different textures and patterns, which will work really well with the bundle, but also would work super well with any other projects that you'd like to make. So there are some that are really well suited for masculine cards, but all of these could work on any kind of card, really. So I love the versatility of the patterns here, and I love gray, so this really speaks to me. Okay, so that's the paper. This one is regularly $15.75, but it's right now on sale for $13.39. Okay, so these are the different Designer Series paper that are on sale. And like I said, if you purchase 2 packs or if you spend $30 or more in my online store, you're going to get a bonus PDF tutorial with 9 different tips and tutorials. Okay, so that is the Designer Series paper. And then we also have the paper lattice. Okay, so now this is on back order right now, but it's going to be coming back in stock hopefully next week. And this is the paper lattice. There are 10 pieces in here, not 10 different, 10 pieces in here. And it's this really cool lattice piece here, and it's quite sturdy, which is really good. So it might look like it's flimsy, but it's actually got a really good sense of sturdiness to it. So this is also something that will work really nicely with this bundle. Okay, so if you want to order the whole suite, you would use one code here, and if you want to order items individually, you can definitely do that. So let's get started. I am going to show you the project that was the jumping off point for this card. So I designed a card. I'm part of the All-Star Tutorial Bundle design team. And so 12 of us demonstrators from all over the world, each month we create a project based on a specific suite, and then we do an exclusive video tutorial. So you can't actually access this on my YouTube channel unless you have the link to the tutorial bundle. So we also do a blog hop every month. So this card just went live on my blog earlier this evening. And I love the Designer Series paper, which actually just came back in stock today. And I just loved that fun rectangular frame. So I also used this layout as the jumping off point for my card. Now, All-Star Tutorial Bundle, we have started a new subscription period from July to December. So for the next 6 months, you can subscribe and get the tutorial bundle each month. If you subscribe this month, there are two options. You can do the month to month, or you can do pay for it all at once, and you'll get 1 month for free. So July is the only month that you can do that. And every month you will get a new tutorial bundle, which has 12 different projects and video tutorials featuring a different product suite. Okay. So that information is on my blog, and let's get started, shall we? Okay, so as I mentioned, this is the card that we're going to be doing today, and I've got my materials cut and ready to go. So we've got everything in here, and let's start by doing our rectangular frame. So I love the fact that our rectangle stitch dies will allow us to cut out this fun frame. So the dies on their own are really fun and have that stitching both on the inside and outside of the die. And that also lends itself really well for when you do want to create a border like this. So let me show you how to do that. You will need the rectangle stitched framelits dies, and you'll need the second largest and the fourth largest. Okay, so this is the largest one here. So I'm taking the next size down, then I'm skipping the next smallest, and I'm going to one that's 2 sizes down. Okay, so you're going to grab those 2 rectangle dies. You can do this with any sizes. So this one works well for my card, but you can do this with any of the sizes. I generally find going like skipping one in between gives you a really good healthy border. Okay, so it's not too flimsy. So you're going to grab your cut and emboss machine. Hello, Margaret Ann. Thank you for joining. So you're going to grab your cut and emboss machine. You can see my plates are really beaten up. I have ordered new ones and I'm waiting for them to arrive, but they've been on back order for a while. So we're just going to keep working with these well-loved plates. So what you want to do then is you want to set this up on your piece of cardstock. I'm using a piece of cinnamon cider, which is one of our in colors. And then you're just going to place the other one so that you can see that there's about the same amount. There's the same distance on all 4 sides. Now, for me, especially because my plates are warped, I feel like the Post-it tape is going to be really important for me to hold it in place, because if it moves, then it's going to mess up your cutting and you will not have kind of a nice even frame. So I'm actually going to reinforce this with another piece, and I'm just using this Post-it labeling and cover-up tape. I think I bought this from Amazon, and I just find that it's really helpful for my die cutting to hold things in place. So I've got that set up now, and I'm going to place my clear plate on top, and let's hope this doesn't crack because it is quite warped now. And I'm just going to roll that through. Ooh, I am not sitting at a good angle to do this. Yes, Janice, the Post-it tape is so helpful for that. You can also use washi tape for it. So it's, if you have washi tape lying around, which I have a lot of that as well, you can definitely use that, and it's usually pretty safe. So you want to be careful just when you're peeling it off not to pull too hard so that it doesn't tear your cardstock. And I'm just going to leave that off to the side because I can use it again for some of the other die cutting that I'm going to do. I'm tearing my cardstock here. Let's go the other way. So then when we cut that out, we have this fun border. Okay, so I've got this really cool stitched border, and the stitching is both on the outside and the inner perimeter, if that makes any sense, the inner part here. Okay, so we've got that fun stitching, and then you've got another stitched rectangle that you can just save and use for another project. So that's how you get that stitched border. And then what I have done is I have cut a piece of the designer series paper that resembles the brick wall, and I've cut it just a little bit smaller than the size of that rectangle frame. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick that down. I'm going to just use my bone folder here. Am I crooked? I'm always crooked. Oh. I think I need to somehow stick my cutting mat down to my table here because I always end up crooked. And then I look at the screen and I don't love it. Okay, so I'm just going to use my Seal Plus here and I'm going to stick this down to my card base. So I'm going to try and center this as well as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? It's handmade, so little imperfections are okay. So to stick down the frame, I have used a bunch of mini dimensionals. You can use the larger dimensionals, but you might see them kind of sticking out from the edge. So I'm just going to be putting 3 along the shorter side, like so. You can even add more if you want. I probably wouldn't go less because you just don't want it to sag anywhere in the middle. Okay, so I'm just putting a few mini dimensionals here. Okay, so now I've got my mini dimensional stuck down, and I'm just going to peel off all the backings. We also have the foam adhesive strips, so those work really well for shaker cards, and those would also work really well on this frame to stick it down. I've got little mini dimensional backings everywhere. Okay, and then I just have little bits stuck from remnants from the other piece that I cut a while ago. Okay, so now you're just going to stick that down and you're just going to make sure that you're covering the edges of brick, the Brick Designer Series paper. Okay, so this is basically the backdrop for our card. It's kind of cool, eh? I'll let you look at that for a second while I start to gather some of my other pieces. So now I'm going to grab some of the pieces that I've already die cut. I didn't open the dies to show you, but I would like to do so you can see all of the amazing dies that come in the Perfect Plants dies. Okay, so this die set has 14 different dies. Some of them will cut out the images that you see in the stamp set. They also cut out some of the images in the Designer Series paper, which I will show you. So I'm actually going to be using this one here, and I'm going to use that one there. And then there are some detailed dies that will cut out this macrame plant hanger, which you see here. I've done that in basic white. And then there is this cute little bowl. And I just love the detailing on here. Okay, so running that through with the die cutting machine will cut all of the little detailing that you see here. And then we also have this little plant here, and you can see the veining is already cut out as well. So it's really, really quite intuitive how they've done this. So let me show you how we cut out these other pieces from the Designer Series paper. So this is one of the amazing features of many of our Designer Series papers is that you can actually die cut or fussy cut images right from the actual paper. Okay, so I'm just going to take this die here and stick that down. I'm going to use my Post-it tape again because I don't want these moving. That would be bad. Okay, so tell me while I'm doing this, do any of you hoard your Designer Series paper? I know Janice said she does. Anyone else out there a Designer Series paper hoarder? This is a safe space, so you can you can tell us. No judgment here. If I showed you the piles of Designer Series paper I have, you might be judging me. Okay, so I've got these set up. I'm using my Post-it tape again, and I'm just going to run this through. Oh, lots of paper hoarders here. Nicole, Denise. Okay, so here's the thing. This paper, all of our Designer Series papers are so pretty, okay? And this is what I tell myself now because I buy it and I used to hoard it a lot. I'm better at it. I'm better at cutting it down now because I just order 2 packs at least so that I know if I cut one, I still have one full one to, to just make me feel better that I still have a full pack. But I am getting better at it because what I find is that Designer Series paper helps me a lot with my designing. So whether it is pulling out color combinations or just being a backdrop for my card so that I don't have to do as much stamping or so that it doesn't look plain, I just find that it lends itself really nicely to being able to create really cute cards. So I'm feeling a bit more comfortable with cutting my Designer Series paper. and I'm loving my cards more actually. So it's funny, but as I have started to cut more and use it more, I tend to like my cards more. So there seems to be a correlation here. Okay, let me show you a little trick for when you are mounting your stamp. So I have this, I sometimes have this problem where when I go to stamp it, it looks a little bit off center or it's crooked. And so what I've been doing is I just use my grid paper and then I line it up. I line up the stamp with the actual lines of my grid paper. And then I will take my stamp and I make sure that I'm lining up one edge of it with one of the lines that I can see here. So there's a darker line here. And so I'm just lining that up so that it looks fairly straight. Okay. And then that way, when I go to if I put my card straight here and I go to actually stamp it, then I can just make sure that one of the edges of my clear block is lined up with the lines of my grid paper, and then it will stamp straighter. Okay. So it's not as much of a big deal when when you're stamping on a piece of scrap and you're going to cut it out anyways. But I find, if you've got a narrower strip that you need to stamp on, that can sometimes make it a little bit harder. So that's just a little tip for you. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to stamp "To a Dear Friend" onto my Whisper White, and I've stamped, sorry, my Basic White. I've stamped it close to the bottom because I just want to cut off a little part of it. So let me grab my trimmer, which is now buried under all my things. And I'm just cutting this at about 1/2 inch. So I'm just lining this edge here with the 1/2 inch marking here. And I'm just going to cut that. Okay, so that's just how I'm doing my grading. Darlene is a paper hoarder. Deborah is a paper hoarder. We're all in great company all the time. Okay, you know what this is telling me is that I think we need a little challenge. I think that I'm going to have to put my thinking cap on and come up with a fun little challenge to get everybody cutting their designer series paper, myself included. Okay? So let's do some sort of a challenge. Let me think on it. If you have ideas, let me know on what would help you, what would incent you to actually cut your DSP. Okay? I'm interested. And I am not above bribery. So I will bribe you guys to cut your DSP because I'm telling you, once you do it, you're going to be so happy. Okay? All right. I said that very emphatically because I really, and then I really mean it. Okay, let me move all these little bits out of the way. And then let's start assembling our card. So that's all there is to basically cutting all the pieces that you need for it. And then the rest is just assembly and embellishing. Okay, so I'm going to just take a little bit of my liquid glue here. And I'm just going to stick that down. I'm going to grab my silicone craft sheet. And this just helps me not get glue all over my surface. So I'm just going to stick that down like that. And that way, if any of the glue oozes out, it'll just end up on my silicone craft sheet and I can just wipe that off later. Okay, so I'm doing that, and then I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue and I'm just going to stick it onto, I'm just going to add some glue here onto the little intersection points here, and that's going to get stuck down onto the plant. Okay, so I find it easier to actually put the glue on the macrame hanger rather than on here because then you know exactly where the glue needs to go. So I am just going to hold that there for a moment so that it sticks down. Okay, and then while that's drying, I'm going to add a little bit more liquid glue here. And then I'm just going to tuck that behind this little bowl. And you can see some of the glue is coming out through the little hole here, and that will dry clear. Well, hopefully. It's not such a big deal if it doesn't. All right, so I'm going to let that sit there. And this should now be ready to go. So I'm going to take I'm just going to use my mini dimensionals because I have them here. I got my glue holder from Etsy. So there is a company called Cujo 3D, and they sell these these liquid glue holders. And I had actually ordered them. I had ordered a whole bunch a while ago for my team members when we had a Stampin' Up! Like a conference, and everyone loved them. We got them in pink because our team name is called the Pretty in Pinksters, and it's because I love all things pink. And so I ordered them in pink for everybody. So they're definitely handy to have, and then we'll keep your glue obviously upside down so that you don't, it just comes out really easily. Okay, so I'm going to take off these little backings and then we'll stick this on. Okay, so I'm just going to put that here so it looks like it's, a brick wall obviously behind it, and then there's a plant hanger here, and then you've got the plant hanging from it. And then we'll do the same thing here. I guess this didn't dry totally. Let me see if I can take a little bit of the glue out of here with my piercing tool. There we go. I'll wipe that down later. And then I'm just going to put a couple of mini dimensionals on the back of this, and then we will stick that down. And we're kind of getting close to the end of this card. What do you guys think of it so far? Does this look fairly easy and simple? Are you liking it? Okay. That is kind of in the way. Okay, there we go. You might even be okay with just one dimensional on this. Probably didn't need two. Then I'm just going to set that right here. Okay, and I can put the glue away and we'll put the sentiment now. So I'm just going to stick that down. Now, because this frame here already has dimensionals, and because the sentiment is going to be sort of straddling the frame, you want to just be mindful of where you place your dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to put one at this end here, and then I'm going to put one at this end here, and then the middle will be held up by the frame, so you don't actually need another dimensional there. Okay, so just want to put that straight. Okay, so all the stamping and the assembly is done. We're just going to embellish now, and I'm just going to use some linen thread. Oh, Darlene, you couldn't get pink at the time? Where you got yours? Where did you get yours, Darlene? I'm interested. I said to my son the other day that I want him to look into getting a 3D printer. So he's 15 and he is obsessed with gaming right now. Now he just started summer school today, so that will keep him busy during the day for 3 weeks. But any spare moment that he's not, doing school, or when we're not kind of on the boys to do something different, they're all gaming. So I said to him, why don't you try and pick up a hobby? Why don't you maybe try and learn how to use a 3D printer? And he's got some money saved, and I said maybe we can explore getting something made, because I mean it's partly selfish, but I could think of so many things I would want him to make for me. So anyway, we'll see where that goes, but it would be really neat. And then I could get him to make me some of these liquid glue holders. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so I'm just putting my linen thread here, okay? And then I'm just going to embellish with some Genial Gems, which you may or may not get in your Stamp Camp in a box. I'm not going to give it all away, but there's a possibility. And so there's two different colors of the Genial Gems. So we've got this sort of mint macaron color, and then we've got this beautiful goldish color. And I say this all the time, but what I really love about these gems is that they will actually coordinate with anything. So because they've got all of the glitter, the different iridescent glitter on it, it matches with so many different colors. So I'm just going to this card would be fine even without gems. I think there's already a lot of beautiful detail on here, but I have the gems and I love sparkle, so I'm just using my take your pick tool to pick it up and put it down. And that is the card. What do you guys think? I'm excited to hear what you guys think of it. Oh, thank you. A local scrapbook store in Winnipeg sells them. Okay, awesome. Hello, Kathleen. Do you guys want me to show you my trick of how to decorate your envelope? because I only did one card today, so we've got a little bit of time. All right, so here we go. I do this often, but I know that we always have people watching that have maybe not watched before, so I'm going to just show you. Trying to think here yeah, we could go with the brick. I'm going to go with, I think it's 2.5 inches, our envelope flaps. Let me grab an envelope. Oh, I have an envelope. Never mind. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. I'm glad that you like it. Okay, 2.5 inches would work. And then we'll do the 6 inches this way. So this is wide enough to cover our envelope flap. So I love having a coordinating envelope for my card. And you can stamp on the envelope too. So if you wanted to use the same leaf stamp, you could do that. There's all sorts of fun little stamps in there that you can use. So let me just grab my silicone craft sheet again. And I'm just going to use liquid glue here. And I'm just going along the edge of this envelope flap. Okay, so you want to get really close to the edge, but not put too much glue. So you don't want it oozing out the sides because that will look messy. And then you just line up your designer series paper piece with the seam of the envelope. And because I've used liquid glue, I have a little bit of time to move things around. Okay. And then once you've got it in position, you just flatten it out with your fingers. Okay, so I'll just let that sit for a second. Oh, thank you, Denise. Thanks, Deborah. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. I'm glad that you love the card. I love it too. I'm super happy with how it turned out. And for those of you that might have joined late, this was the inspiration for the card. This is where the layout came from. Okay, so same idea, just slightly different orientation and obviously very different stamp set. So that is probably my most favorite tip for designing is to just find a layout. And I found this layout in our last year's annual catalog. I was just flipping through and I found one that was kind of similar to this. And then I just used that as my springboard. Okay. So once you've got that down and it's fairly dry, you're just going to take your paper snips and just cut around the flap of the envelope without trying to throw it halfway across your desk. All right, so I'm just going to trim that off. I am so in love with this suite. I'm glad that we have almost a full year with it because I don't know that I could ever get bored of it. I think it's just so cute. So look at that. How fun is that? Isn't that just so cute? I'm so smitten. I was so proud of this card when I designed it. And I was just like, I can't even. I was just so smitten with it. I don't know. Once in a while, this happens where I design a card and I'm just like, I'm very proud of it. I don't know how many different ways to say it. All right, let me look at the comments. Okay, so Tanya has a great question. When you buy a suite, do you grab the coordinating cardstock as well or anything else to go with? Okay, so Tanya, now you're asking someone who's a little bit of a like a crafting supply addict. So I'm also a collector, so I have a hard time when I have like empty slots on my ink pad storage or on my paper storage. So I tend to have all the ink colors and I have all the cardstock colors. However, when I was first starting out, if I would buy a suite, I would absolutely buy the colors to coordinate with it. So I always tell people instead of buying, 4 different stamp sets or 4 different designer series paper, I always find it easier to buy a coordinating set of products so that you can actually start using it together to create projects. Because if you're buying lots of stamp sets, then you might be lacking in ink and paper and cardstock. Or if you're buying lots of designer series paper, you might not have the stamps. So I always encourage people, especially when they're just starting to accumulate stuff, to buy what you need with a particular suite so that you can have some coordinating products. Because that is one of the things that Stampin' Up! Does really well is the whole color coordination. So you definitely want to check that out. So on the back of our designer series paper, we always have the colors that coordinate with a particular paper pack. So on this one, for example, there's Cajun Craze, Cinnamon Cider, Evening Evergreen, Garden Green, Gray Granite, Just Jade, Whisper White. Now you don't need all of those colors, but you probably want maybe one or two cardstock colors to coordinate, and then maybe one or two ink colors. So I hope that helps. And I'm using the Bloom Where You're Planted suite as an example, but if there was a different suite that you liked, I think it certainly helps to have one, at least one of the ink colors that coordinate with it. Hello, Lorraine. Yes, you can catch the beginning on the replay. Hello, Debbie. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, so I hope that helps answer your question, Tanya. Please let me know if you have other questions. I'm more than happy to help. You know what, that is one thing that I wish I had known right at the beginning when I first started accumulating my Stampin' Up! Product is I was in love with like all the things. So I would buy kind of little bits and bobs here and there. And then I just struggled with actually making cards with it because I just didn't have a complete set of supplies. So I hope that helps. And I'm always here to answer questions if you have any others. So that was a great question. Thank you for asking. And I guess that's it for me, everyone. So please remember, if you do want to register for the Stamp Camp in a Box, I'm going to show you my flyer. You'll see that my ink from my printer is running out, but this is our Stamp Camp in a Box. So as I mentioned, it's $50 in new Stampin' Up! Products. So it'll include embellishments and, maybe some twine and gems and paper and all of the make and takes for 8 different projects. You'll also get some pillow gifts. You'll get an exclusive little bag, and it includes your shipping. So it's $100 and will ship anywhere in Canada. And if you are local to me and would like to do a porch pickup, you'll actually get an additional product in your box in lieu of the shipping cost. The registration for this closes on Friday, July the 9th, and you can go to zarapremji.com and click on Stamp Camp in a Box Canada if you're in Canada. And if you are in the US and would like to register, then just click on the US option and you can sign up with my friend Jamie, and you'll be still getting all of the same projects and tutorials and all the things. So it's amazing. We're super proud of this, how the projects have come together. We also have 2 add-on classes that you can also purchase. You'll see the information on the link. We're doing a Christmas in July class featuring the Tidings and Trimmings stamp set. And this add-on class actually includes the stamp set. So if you already have the stamp set, you can substitute it with something else. And if you don't have the stamp set, then you will actually get that included. And you'll also make 8 cards, so 4 different designs, 2 of each, featuring the Tidings and Trimmings. And then there's also another class to go, sorry, an add-on class using the Create with Friends. Again, this includes the stamp set, so if you already have it, you can substitute it with something different of equal value. And again, if you don't already have the stamp set, this will be included in there, and then all of your make and take supplies for 8 cards, okay? So all the options are here at zarapremji.com. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. We will be closing the registration off on Friday, and we hope that as many of you will join us as possible because it's going to be amazing. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening, and if you have any other questions, comments, suggestions, please do let me know. I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and we will see you back here Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for coffee and a card. Bye for now.